Hi, my name is Dashing Dot, and sometimes, when the time's right, and I feel like it, I like to... Hey guys, welcome, this is Dashing Dot. In today's video, I want to talk about recoil control. This is going to be the first of a skill series I'm making for point 12, and I'm trying to just go straight in. But before we talk about what you can do to improve your recoil control, your spray pattern, to make it more condensed on the target, maybe we should talk about what the game does for you and what happens when you, let's say, full auto onto a target. Now, the first thing that's going to happen is that you will have an effect that your gun goes all the way up. Not all the way in a 90 degrees angle, but pretty high. Now the reason for that is that the game automatically kicks you up to give you the feeling of a kickback from your gun when you start shooting it, which you would have normally IRL too. Battlestate Games calls this the recoil force up, and after the recoil is forced up, it then stabilizes again, and they call it the recoil force back. So what happens is that the first shot is usually somewhere around the target you're aiming at. The next shots are going all the way up, and then it slowly comes back until it stays centered. However, since you have a little recoil in still and a little force up, your spray pattern will focus on a point a little bit above your initial aim point. So it's pretty safe to say that if you would, let's say, aim at the neck of a PMC, your main spray pattern would end up on the head of said PMC. Okay. Now, it doesn't really matter what gun you're using on full auto for this experiment. However, obviously, certain types of guns have different recoil force ups and different recoil force backs. So some are naturally easier to handle than others. Now let's focus a bit on how you can lower the force up, get the force back faster down, and make the spray pattern a bit more condensed. Now it's no secret that Battlestate Games has a little flaw in their system where the max field of view on 75 gives you the best and most condensed spray pattern. That is simply because they are just adding and subtracting the field of view from certain numbers like the force up, etc. So highly suggest that they, when they have time, this is nothing important right now in my opinion, it's nothing game breaking, but when they have time they should try and just make it a linear approach, so the field of view just gets added in a linear way, that it doesn't matter what field of view you're using, it's always the same recoil behavior and always the same condensed or non-condensed spray pattern. So now we've talked a bit about field of view, and I think that's enough. I don't want to get into too much detail, but what can you do to lower your recoil on the gun to have it not forced up so much and to actually center it on a point easier? Well, the good news is that no matter what skills or skill level you have, when you aim down sight, the game automatically awards you with around 25% recoil control. That's good. But when you're standing up, and you probably know this, and you're aiming down sight, then it's still a fucking mess. let's be honest here. It's not pleasant. I give you another example though. If you ADS and you go prone, prone also gives you 25% roughly. So you should end up somewhere around 50% recoil control when you ADS and go prone. And when you go crouch, it gives you a little less than prone, obviously. But when you go prone and ADS, you already have around 50% recoil control off the bat. It's really good. And I think this is exactly how the game should handle the behavior of your gun when you do both of these things. Everybody who shot a gun IRL knows that it's way easier to shoot it, especially on full auto, when you're in a in a position lying down somewhere on even ground instead of standing up. Good, okay, so that's the two things you can do already off the bat without having to do anything in the game, and it's really good because everybody can do it from level 1 on. Now, I made a video for last patch where I said legal hacks. I was just joking there because of the assault rifle skill that would literally, when maxed, zero the recoil on the FAL. That is thankfully fixed now. However, back then in 11.7, the max assault rifle skill would award you with plus 20% recoil control, and I felt that was a bit too much. I was suggesting that they would half it or just lower it by 5% to not make all these guns a laser beam. Now, what Battlestate Games did in point 12 did surprise me. Not gonna lie, they upped it by 5%, and the recoil control you're getting now is 25%. So once you level up your assault rifle, that means you get another 25%. If you're lying down and ADSing, you're already at around 75% recoil control. Very close to said laser beam, especially when you have the ability to mod your guns out and get the base recoil in the stats of the gun even lower. The second skill you can level up is recoil control itself. Recoil control, and I should add that I just spoke about assault rifle. Obviously, if you are running MP5s, assault rifle would not help you in that sector. You would have to level SMGs. But the recoil control skill itself counts for all weapon types, and you can just level it up. I mean, you just shoot bullets and it levels up. So people can power level that by just mag dumping in a raid. And once you've mag dumped enough rounds into woods, shoreline, wherever you like to do it, or interchange, your skill should somewhat soonish be at level 50 recoil control. But does that give you, well, in 11.7 it gave you 30%. I'm fairly certain it still does give you 30%, but right now I'm on level 12. Let me actually check that. I think I leveled up. Yeah, I'm on level 13 now, and it does give me 12% improved recoil control. So that isn't really hard to get. It's just by playing the game. I do understand I play the game more than others, so obviously some people that don't have as much time do not get it up that fast. However, it's not that hard to get it up, and another 12% on level 13 means to our 75% we had already that we're at 88% recoil control. We're even closer to the laser beam. Now, if you manage to max out these two skills, and that should be achievable even for casual players. Again, if you want to power level a weapon skill, then you can always just reload a weapon in the respective field. Like If you want to level SMGs, you can then reload an MP5. An example, every 4 times you reload the MP5, you get 0.1. Don't get me wrong, that will take you about 170 to 180 hours of reloading said weapon. If you do it in the assault rifle field, that's the easier one, because you can reload an SKS with an internal magazine, which gives you 0.1 in skill points every time. Then obviously you only need like around 40 to 50 hours. It's still a lot, I get that, but it's achievable. That's all I'm saying. It's definitely easier to achieve than the other weapons. Same counts for the Mosin as well, but I'm going to do another video on that. Good. Okay, so if you're not sure how all this works, then you can always just go into my website, dashingdart.co.uk. I have all my guides up there. I'm updating them as I'm progressing through point 12. I haven't maxed out all skills yet, so it's going to take me a moment before I can actually write with some base knowledge about skills again. But be sure to check it out. Most of the stuff that's up there is still valid, like my skill guide for 11.7, the way you level the skills stayed exactly the same, etc. So it's definitely worth checking that out. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, you really should, because as I said, I will upload a lot of new skill videos in the near future. Right, guys, if you have any more questions, then obviously feel free to pop by when I'm live. I'm usually live 2 times a day. And if you can't catch my streams, then you're also welcome to just join my Discord and ask me questions over there. Since there's nothing left to say, I can only say thanks for watching and have a wonderful rest of the day, morning, night, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is, in your most beautiful countries. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.
So fucking godly! Scotland!